I had been talking about black relationships or lack of black relationships or the um, the misrepresentation of inter-ethnic relationships. You know, on YouTube or in media, we always see images of black men and white women when they talk about inter-ethnic relationships, but they barely show other couplings or other groupings. Because they got to sell this image that the black man has lusted after a white woman for 500 more years, when in fact that's not necessarily true. Now, don't get me wrong, there are black men out there who are color struck. There are black men out here who bought into these lies and stereotypes that somehow the white woman is more adventurous in the bedroom. That's not true. Women are women, but white women have the ability to get away with doing certain things that a black woman wouldn't do because she's been made out to be this delicate flower that needs to be protected, or this princess type woman. And we know that's not true. Those of us who have had experiences outside of our community. Now, the other day, I can't remember what video it was, but one of the YouTubers asked me to speak about my relationships. Now, I have done this before. I did on my very original channel, and I've mentioned it off and on in various videos since I've been on YouTube. And I've mentioned it on this channel. I haven't gone in detail, because like I said, I did it on my old channel. And I'll be honest with you, I don't want to have to rehash those painful and actually embarrassing memories. But I said, you know what? Let me be fair. Let me give some examples of what I've experienced and what I've seen. Because maybe some young brother or sister might realize that they're in that type of relationship, and before they get hurt or do something stupid, do something that's they're gonna regret, or is gonna poison their mind. Maybe they might need to hear somebody have a few years experience on them. Now, that being said, like a majority of black people on this planet, we have been conditioned to forgive our enemies. And when I mean our enemies, I'm not talking about white people in the traditional sense of being in. I'm talking people who do you harm. That could be people within the community or people outside the community. Okay? That's something that we have to acknowledge when we use the term enemies. That's a loaded word, and that's why I try not to use it as much, because people misinterpret certain words and phrases. But anyways, as black people, we've been told to forgive. That's the Christian thing to do. That's what the Bible says. Right there, that's what we make our fucking mistake is. Always using that Bible and saying I'm a Christian, though it's imperative that we forgive. But yet, the people who put us into bondage claim to be Christians as well, and always talking about forgiving and things of the nature, because they want us to forgive what they've done or what they continuously do. Remember, brothers and sisters, it was a time where we could not practice our ancestral language or religion. This is why the black American don't know a second or third language, because our ancestors were forcibly denied the ability to practice it. I mean, think about it. Why would you forgive somebody who did or do you harm? And then they get mad at you when somebody like myself point this out. But any other community that has been slighted or been done harm to, they have the right to express their anger and frustration. I mean, just think about it. If I went to a Jewish person and said, you know what, it's been nearly 70 years, shouldn't you forgive what happened during World War II or Hitler? They look like you crazy. And then systematically proceed to destroy your livelihood. But I'm supposed to, or my people supposed to forgive and forget. So what happened is we've been conditioned for hundreds of years to forget those who do harm against us, whether it be in business, whether it be religion, school, sports, relationships, you name it. So quite naturally, when we decide or we do have an opportunity to step outside the community and we start getting into more intimate relationships, we forget the little slights, we forget the little digs. Or we forgive the major slights and digs. Well, I have to admit that I was one of those people that was conditioned and didn't realize until it was too late. Now, as you hear, like you hear me say that I've been aware of my surroundings for a long time, but that doesn't mean I still didn't make my mistakes. I thought being a young guy, age 21, 22, that I can change people's perception of black men or perception they had of me without them even, because you know how people look at black guys. People look at the way we dress and try to size up and say, oh, he's a thug, or he's homeless, or he's a baby daddy, or he's lazy. All these negative things that people associate with us. So naturally, I was more inclined to be more open to people, receptive to people. And the job I used to have, I used to work in the fast food industry, if y'all know, you meet different people, you interact with different people. People come in your life, they come out of your life because it's a high turnaround. So naturally, you start hanging out with people, going to meetings, meeting people out in public. And I met a white woman. And I'm trying to remember, did I meet her? I think she was a customer, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while. Some details I've either blocked or just forgot due to passage of time. But anyways, we went out. We started hanging out with each other. At first, we were just hanging out. I didn't kiss her. She didn't kiss me. We didn't touch. But after a while, I went to that realm of holding hands, kiss on the cheek, then kissing. Then eventually, we had sex. And we had a lot of sex. And I think it wasn't a black man, white female thing. It was just that we were young. But it came to a point where the way I was raised is you want to meet her family. Now, that didn't mean that we was going to get married, just that you want to know who you're interacting with. So I wouldn't have to be the guy that you had to meet somewhere else. And that's another thing. When a woman tells you to meet you somewhere, she's either cheating on you or she's hiding you from somebody. So I said, I want to meet your family. And she said, nope, I ain't taking no nigga home. And I said, nigga? And she said, I can't take a black guy home. I can't. No. You said nigga because that mean that word was on your mind. Nigga just don't pop into your head. Then she broke it down to me. She like, I ain't taking no nigga to my father. He disowned me. My mother was, Now, I could have did what some brothers do. Ignore it and say, you know what? As long as I keep getting ass, I don't care. But I'm not that type of person. And I had other relationships in that time frame that I had to get my nigga moment repeatedly. But there was other experiences I had with white women, working with them. And I'm going to tell you something. Any black man can tell you who's worked around and worked with them, at some point she going to put it out there. Whether she's testing you or trying to set you up or she actually wanted. I had this co-worker I used to work with, and this all happened to fast food because I'm going to tell you, I remember one of these days I might write a book about the fast food industry. You'd be surprised what you come in contact with what people do. I had this one co-worker. She was married to a Hispanic guy. This guy used to abuse her from what she said. And like most white women, if they don't meet a certain standard of beauty, or they start gaining weight, or their looks start to fade, and usually in their 30s, they hit them, actually in their late 20s and early 30s for some of them, they stop becoming attractive to the white men, or the men within their community, I should say. So this is a stereotype that black men, we'll fuck anything. We like white women. We don't care how they look. Now, this woman was not attracted to me whatsoever. One day, I was doing paperwork, and she came in. Hey, Harvey, look at this. She had her pants down to her fucking knees. Underwear down to her knees. I saw everything. I had to turn my head. It wasn't that I was repulsed by it. I was insulted at the fact that she thought that as a black man, that I was going to first. I was attracted to her, number one. Number two, that I was going to actually risk fucking her in a restaurant. Number three, she had no respect for her vows. So I had to come up with some excuse. And by the grace of God, an ex-girlfriend called me. And I answered the phone. We're talking, and she realized that I wasn't coming out of the office. She eventually pulled her pants back up and said, I'll talk to you later. Looking back on it, maybe I should have fucked her. And I'm going to tell you why. No woman likes to be rejected. And more so a white woman. Because as I said before, they have been conditioned to think that all black men obsess after them. We don't. Now, if I didn't have any experiences prior to her doing some shit like that, I probably, if I was a weak-minded guy or I didn't give a fuck about my livelihood, I probably would have bit the bullet. I probably would have had sex with her. But I'm so glad I didn't. But at the same time, looking back on it, maybe I should, because the very next day, I started getting just fucking harassed by her, the other white managers, the white employees, the Hispanic employees. And eventually, you know, the black employees going to turn, because you know how some of our people are, we don't have any backbone when it comes to standing up for oneself over for each other. I went through a lot of drama. But then another white woman tried to do the same thing. I'm like, what's up? But one day I walked into one of the locations and they didn't know I was in there. I was listening to them talk. And I'm going to tell you, and we all know, women can get raunchy. But and I want to make a clarification. I'm not saying all white women do this, but let's just be honest, there's a large number that do. They was talking about black men, and this one white chick said, you know what, I really don't like them, but I was watching this porno, and you gotta admit they do have big penises. And one of them said, and one was talking about she was with one and he made her orgasm and squirt and all kinds of shit. And the other one was like, well, my father, and I'm listening to them. They didn't know I was in off. I had walked in. So what I did, and I guess they didn't hear the beat, because every time you walk into a restaurant, at least some of the newer restaurants, you hear some type of beat or a chime. So I made my business to go back and at the door so they can hear me come in. But nonetheless, it was I already knew what they was on. And I said, I'm gonna get set up in here. But I stuck my grounds and kept my pants zipped up and stayed out of their way. But still the damage was done. You rejected one, you reject another, they're gonna get you. But during that time, I used to come out and visit my parents in the area they were staying at. I used to go in the supermarket every night and run, make some groceries or just pick up some gum or something. And I saw this white woman, and I don't know what it is about certain white women. You know, redheads. They usually top heavy or bottom heavy, or they just curvy. But this one white woman was blonde, and she was built like a fucking black woman. And we've all seen some of those white women at some point. And I ain't gonna lie, you have to double it. Like, man, is it real? What the fuck she eating? Is she really one of those undercover, or one of those ones that pass? And you have to really look, cause even in the facial department, she had a round nose, full. I'm like, man, she might be a black woman, but nah, she wasn't. So the guys would see her, and I saw her quite often in the area. Guys would flirt with her and everything, and I don't know if she had a boyfriend. Now, she probably had a boyfriend. Maybe she wasn't in seeing anybody. I don't know. But you can tell that she was stuck up. But let's be honest, no matter what ethnicity of a woman, if guys sweat her so long, her head tend to swell up. So one day I was off, and my mother asked me, "Can I do her a favor and run up to the grocery store and get some items for her?" And I said, sure, no problem. So I'm in a good mood because I'm on vacation. At least I think I was on vacation at the time. I could have been a day off. So anybody who knows me know I speak to everybody. So I get out of my car, I'm whistling, can't remember what I was whistling. I just know I was whistling. Because normally when I'm in a good mood, I whistle or hum something. And she was walking out of the store, and I said, how you doing? I wasn't talking to her because she was a white woman or because I thought she was attractive. I spoke to her because that's where I was raised. She like, huh. Now, you know how some sisters roll their eyes? You know how white women go, huh. I'm saying to myself, well, fuck you. I ain't trying to get in your panties. And 9 times out of 10, if I wanted, I probably could have got it. Or you ain't all that. So I remember filing that way in my memory. I'm like, man, some of these women out here just fucked up in their head. So I remember after going in the military, coming back home, and I remember by that time my mom had passed, and my father and me were going into a store. Actually sat in my car, and I got out the car, and I walked past. I'm walking in. I see this woman. I said, "Why she look so familiar to me?" I said, maybe she was a customer, or maybe I lived near her, or maybe I saw her in the neighborhood before. But I said, something about her seems so fucking familiar to me. So I'm in the store and I see her again. She's smiling at me. And you know how that it's not that fake, I don't want to smile, that I look at you, look at me, wait for which one is to speak. No. She's like, hi, how you doing? And I'm looking around like, she talking to me? Like, I'm talking to you, how you doing? I'm like, I'm fine. And the way she was talking, like we knew each other. Now, the first thing popped in my head, she saw what kind of car I was getting out of. I said she might be one of those women. So we're in line, and she's like, I love your car. I'm like, oh yeah, ding 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 ding. But then she went to this whole thing. She said, you don't remember me, do you? I'm like, no, I don't. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, we used to run each other all the time. I'm like, we did? And she said, you don't remember me. One day I was walking out of the store and you spoke to me. And I'm like, I looked at her and I still couldn't place. I said, you don't remember. And you spoke and I didn't say anything, like I just couldn't be bothered. Then I said, do. Memory, it popped back. I'm like, and I'm looking in the back of my mind, I'm looking like, I wanted to say, I like you, because she changed. Now, she was still an attractive woman, but in the standards of white men, she would could be considered overweight. Now, white, and not just white men, white women, but because white people have a different idea definition of weight. She was a little bit thicker, but she wasn't unattractive, but you can tell she started to age. I'm like, oh yeah, how you doing? She said, yeah, I haven't seen you in a long time. I said, yeah, I've been gone. I was in the military. Oh, you was in the military? Oh my gosh, I gotta thank you for your service and blah blah blah. And I'm like, here go another person about to pat me on the shoulder when I'm not even asking for it. But okay, fine. So I got my groceries. I'm walking. Now, I'm walking to my car. My father's sitting in the car, listening to the radio. I pop over the trunk. She comes over. She's, oh my gosh, I got to give you my number. And I'm like, number? I'm like, I don't even know your name. And first of all, I wasn't even thinking about her like that. And she was like, I felt so bad. Now, mind you, I was gone nearly 3.5 years from that time that she saw me. But somewhere she must have she felt bad during that moment that we had, or maybe she was just flirting with me. So my father got in the car. My father said, you kind of seem cold with her. I said, remember the story I told you about the female that was walking into the store and I spoke to her? That's her. Oh, the way you described it, I was like, nah, she gained some weight, Dad. And we started laughing. He said, what are you going to do? I said, nothing. I took the paper and put it in, how you put your cup holder? And when I went to the car wash and washed my car, they do the inside, it got vacuumed away. I never called. Now, and the reason why I didn't do that is because of my prior experience. Now, people said, damn, you taking what you learned in your 20s or when you was at work and judged her. I said, no, because she did it to herself. See, there's a certain type of white woman who do not want to be caught dead with a black man. It's only when they've either been told not to, or if they seen something on television, or they saw a skin flick, or their looks are fading. Now, have I seen her since that time? Yeah, and she's gotten big. I mean, she's like Jabba the Hutt big. Now, people are going to sit there and say, that's what made you decide that you want to keep your distance from white women? Yeah, those experiences. Now, that doesn't mean that every now and then, prior to me going into the military, that I didn't fuck one. I'm still a man. I just wasn't trying to get no fucking relationship with one. So if I went to a club and one came up on me, I made sure I wore rubber and I kept moving. Now, if you ask me would I do something like that now, no. Because since Mr. Obama announced that he was going to run, and all these instances prior to him, the racism towards black men by white women have been ratcheted up. Ann Coulter, your Sarah Palins, your Michelle Bachmans. And not just white women, women who people think that are white have done it as well. Now that doesn't mean I ain't see no fine looking white chicks out here. And there ain't been no time, and I ain't gonna say in the line said, it never ran across my mind that maybe I might have to settle down with a white woman. But I look at the long term and what could happen. We can get together, everything could be cool, but we have children, and that's the big sticking point with me. I don't have any kids. I want to have them. But if you have children with a white woman, or a woman who thinks of herself as not as a person of color, or have no connection to us, they want to label the children biracial, or mixed, or mulatto, or exotic, or as like I like to say, exotic niggers, because eventually those kids are going to be called a nigger, or a nigger. Think I'm exaggerating? And this is not a generalization, but this is observation. Our president, white mother, black father. He wrote a book about his father. He went by what his mom said. Didn't get a chance to have an actual conversation with his father. Like most women would say, the black man is not a father material, whatever stereotype on the pop. And then we know that's not true. There are black men out here who have taken care of their biological responsibility and not biological responsibilities. We all know that Mr. Obama mama loved the colored dudes because his stepfather was a man of color. I mean, let's just be honest. Halle Berry mama, white, with a black man. Alicia Keys' mother, white, with a black man. And they all got issues. Because one minute they're looked upon as black by the world, but then they have a mindset of a white person. Now, people are going to say, you're making some broad generalizations. I'm just going by what I observe. People say that mixed ethnicity kids have it hard. No. Some might. Let me rephrase that. Some might. But when I was going to school, mixed ethnicity kids were looked upon as gods and goddesses, right along with those black kids who are light skinned. Excuse me. What fucked them up is their attitude, or this double crossing, or double what's that, double switch? What term I'm trying to look for? They plan to play both sides. That's what I'm trying to say. They need the black side to survive, but they need the white side to get through. This is why Mariah Carey and rest of them out here said the things they've said, and then when they get their nigga moment, they want to run back to us. They know we're going to give comfort, because deep down we know those are our people. I know it's been a debate out here on YouTube or out abroad that who's really black and who's not. But if you look at the videos out here with children produced by interethnic couples, whether it be a black woman with a white man or a black man with a white woman, the children are usually mixed up in some form or fashion, because they try to fit into both worlds. Now, at a young age, some of us, or those who are of mixed ethnicity, are told by their black parent, this is what you expect. But the white parent is quick to say, no, we're going to teach our children that everything is this and that. And the black man, like, okay. We're going to see how long that lasts. That's why, if you notice, there's been this uptick in quote-unquote children or black people in the media that you look ubiquitous, that can fit in both worlds, and people automatically assume that they're mixed, or they wear their hair and things of that nature. Notice that most black boys We wear our hair as little boys. Our hair, we got my parents got our hair like a little fro or whatever, and then we get a certain age. You go get our first haircut. Our hair is usually cut close to the scalp. But since because some of these women are not used to our hair texture, they let the shit grow frizz out. That's why you got your Corbin Blues, and he was doing a High School Musical. He set that fucking trend in motion. And then a lot of light-skinned blacks copied and get the confused people, make people look, I'm different. I got some mixed blood in me. These are the things I noticed. And I know y'all noticed too. Now I know y'all saying out there who are in mixed ethnicity relationships. I mean, multi-ethnic relationships, excuse me. Or inter-ethnic relationships, I should say. And I know I got family members in those relationships, and I mean no disrespect or no harm. But at some point, y'all have had some issue. At some point, that spouse of yours went there with calling you a nigger, or talking to you, or calling law on you for the littlest of little things. But yet, when we talk about these type of relationships, it's always putting the blame back on the black man. In some ways, I can understand because you should know better. But if you was never told the truth or exposed or corrected at a young age, you're going in blind. Then it don't help that white women out here who have been with black men or who are attractive to black men or who want black men get out here and make videos or go on different sites and leave comments saying, we got your man, or you don't own a black man. People talk about the black man like he's a piece of property. If you think I'm exaggerating, even look in porn, look at those behind the scene things in adult entertainment, and you would hear the true comments come out of women of color or women who are identified as white. I've seen porn flicks where the white woman, she had said in a minute, she really didn't want to have sex with the black guy, but it was money involved. And some said they was curious, or the agent did this because they said they make more money or get popular. We're seen as objects. We're seen as the last resort. This is why I do these videos. I'm not out here to divide our people with anybody else or divide each other. I'm out here to talk about the things that we all thought about, that we may have experienced or seen and afraid to do so. Now, I'll give you an example. I'm looking at this image of this black man and white woman. Nice looking couple. But you know what? Somebody take me saying nice looking couple, or if I say this white woman's not bad looking, first thing somebody say, oh, you hate black women. That's what it's automatic jump to. And who's to say these are say this is a couple? These could be just friends. We've seen all the videos on YouTube where black men are being critiqued. Well, you must not be down with the sister. You must not want a black woman. You blah, 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 blah. And you sitting there as a black man saying, hey, I can't win. I can't win with the women within my community. I can't win with the women outside my community. But when it boils down to it, people look at us as a sexual object. People don't get to access who we are or want to ask our feelings. People just assume he's a black man, he's a baby daddy, he's a pimp, he's a thug, he's lazy, he's down low. He was every negative connotation you can put out there. Now, as I said, it took me having my experiences. Not once, not twice, but 3 times for me to have a wake up. Those are my nigger moments. Now, mind you, prior, I knew there was a possibility things could happen. But me in my naive state of mind, I thought, hey, I'm a part of Generation X. We don't think like that. I'm going to be the trendsetter. I'm going to show people that, hey, we don't hate. We can live in peace and harmony. Ha! Just like today, I hear people on TV saying, these kids don't hate. They don't judge like their mothers and fathers do. Oh, yes, they do. Because somebody smile at you, open the door, or somebody lays down with you, don't mean they down with you. Everybody like to get off. Let me get a little vulgar. Everybody like to get a nut off. If you can get that person to reach orgasm, they love you even more. I know of guys that dated outside the community, and a lot of them lost their livelihoods. Some went to jail based off bogus charges. Some lost their spouses because he didn't respond the way she wanted him to respond. And what I mean by that is back to that work situation where a white woman throw herself at a black man, you don't bite. And I'm not saying just white women do this, because black women do this as well. But black women do it the short term. They might harass you, they might fuck up your action. But these guys lost their jobs or went to jail behind this shit, or nearly got their lives taken away from them. I mean, I got some other stories. I can tell you about other people I know. I can tell you about things I was walking right up on and I had to pull myself back. Now, for those out here who ask me to speak on these things, I hope this gives you a little insight into why I am the way I am. Why I tell brothers and sisters to watch out, especially brothers. Because some of these brothers out here don't have a wise-minded father, or grandfather, uncles, or a best friend, or older sibling, or even a younger sibling to slap some sense into them. Now, I'm not saying that all inter-ethnic relationships end up this way. But let's just be honest. Usually when a white woman get with a black man, it's because she's been told not to. She saw something on television. She saw something in skin flick. Her looks are fading. Or she got trapped in the community. The community's going through the changeover. And these principles apply to black women as well. But a black woman is not, people don't bat their eyes when they see a black woman with a white man. Because it's been going on for so long. It's normal. That's why you have the Loving versus Virginia case where the white man and the black woman wanted to get married and they had to go to the Supreme Court. I guarantee if there was a black man and a white woman, it would have never got to court, and it would never got the decision that everybody is familiar with today. Because what a black man got between his legs can destroy the white community. People have to understand the white gene, or the gene in black people, which is or skin traits is melanin. We produce that in higher quantity than any other people on the planet. I mean, think about it. When you see, quote unquote, mixed ethnicity or biracial mulatto kids, who do they features they pull more? Us. Have you seen a white man or a white woman interact with somebody who's considered Asian? And what do their characteristics pull? They look like they've been with black people, have they not? But some of y'all out here are not familiar with genetics, or some of y'all have been so conditioned to say they're not a part of this group or that group that you consider they're white. A lot of people that y'all think are white are not white, or Caucasian, or pink skin, whatever term you want to use. Because when we think of black, we think of dark skin. We are the mothers and fathers of civilization. Or we're descendants of the mother and father of civilization, I should say. And people don't realize that there are blacks who donated their organs. You know, if they die or they get in a catastrophic car accident or something and they don't survive. You notice that some white people, they can have your same blood type. Their body can still reject, your organs can still be rejected by their body. One of the reasons is, and I found this out about 2, maybe 3 years ago, the melanin that we produce in our body to give us our color is too strong for them. Why do you think that we were the ideal candidates to go out there and work the fields in the summertime? Let's just be honest, we're stronger. We take more punishment at points in our lives than most people do. Now, I know people don't say, oh, yeah, that's a stereotype. No. This has been proven. This is common sense. But guess what? When we start hitting our 40s, our 50s, our bodies start to break down very quickly. Then by the time we get in our 60s and 70s, we're done. Those white people outlive us because they don't carry the stresses that we do in our body. How many of y'all knew when Dr. King was assassinated, did an autopsy, they said that Dr. King had a heart of a 60-something-year-old man. Dr. King was only 39 years old. Dr. King's heart was 30 years older than it should have been. The stress. People say, well, the stress of the civil rights. That too. But guess what? But guess what? That's what did it. The stress, the weight of the world. And people gonna say, how did you segue? I want y'all to give a history of what we've dealt with. And why I view the world the way I view it. And how that we as black men have allowed people within and outside our community to manipulate us and to make us think that we had to act and be a certain way to go to survive. I don't want anybody to think that I'm a hater or I'm evil or anything, but I like to be honest with people. I like the truth because I think that for so long we're BS'd as a people. And then when we get older, when we're young, we know we're being BS. When we get older, we have to go along with the lie. And sometimes the lie becomes our truth, our reality. And then at some points in our life, we get frustrated and we take it out on the wrong people. Now, if you're a black man and a white woman, y'all want to get together and have a relationship, fine, rock on. But understand this, brother. You better be able to express how you truly feel because you're going to get stifled. You're going to take the anger out on the wrong person. And as a white woman, you better understand something. No matter how down you say you are, you're going to be judged. And I know a lot of white women out there say, well, black women, no. You're getting judged from within. Now, of course, there are going to be some sisters going to rub wrong. Because society has conditioned them to react that way. When I hear some sisters say, you're taking all the good black men away. Why do you assume that black man is good because he's with that white man? He could be the biggest dog. He can be the biggest abuser. He can be super lazy. But that mindset told us that our people have been conditioned to think of white people as superior, especially white women. I hope y'all got some understanding from why I do these videos and not talk about certain subjects. Why I don't sit back here and have too much love or praise of white women. Now that doesn't make me racist or reverse racist, however term you want to use. It's make me a realist. They make me understand what I've experienced and what our history is. Matter of fact, I'm thinking of doing a video pointing out some things that white women have done throughout history that should make black men and black women take a step back and think about. Because we always talk about the white man. We always talk about how hateful and how slick he is. But a lot of it comes from his woman. I know there are going to be white women out here going to say, oh my gosh, you call them racist. And there are going to be white women out here that I know who I come in contact going to say, oh my gosh, Harp, you really thought this about us? Yeah, some of y'all. Maybe not you per se. Because I know what my experiences have been. I know what my observations have been. I know what I've heard. I know what I see. All you got to do is turn on Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, these television shows, these talk shows. Listen to talk radio. And you can't go a week or a day without somebody saying something derogatory about black men and black women, or black men usually. If you don't believe me, go on YouTube and type in black relationships or interracial relationship or what white women think about black men. It's going to get boiled down to, like I said earlier, a sexual thing. I hope this helps.